We've been hearing rumors about a GT4 RS equivalent for some time, but now Porsche has confirmed it. In addition to the Spyder RS being a drop-top, there are a few key differences, but Porsche assures in its press materials that the powertrains are identical. The 4.0-liter six-cylinder revs up to 9,000 revolutions per minute and produces 493 horsepower and 331 pound-feet of torque. That gives it a 79 HP advantage over the already powerful 718 Spyder. Like every other modern Porsche with the RS designation, the Spyder RS will only be available with Porsche's 7-speed PDK automatic transmission. Just like in the Cayman, the ratios have been shortened to improve acceleration. According to Porsche, the new RS will match the Cayman's on-paper claim of a 3.2-second time to 60 miles per hour. We reckon those are conservative estimates and think the new RS will manage closer to the 2.8-second time we recorded in our testing of the GT4 RS last spring. The chassis of the new RS is a blend between the Cayman GT4 RS and the 718 Spyder. It comes standard with Porsche active suspension management along with sport calibration and has been lowered by 1.2 inches. It features a mechanical limited slip differential at the rear, as well as ball-jointed suspension mountings and 20-inch center-locking forged alloy wheels. Compared to the GT4 RS, the spring and damper rates have been reduced, something that will likely hurt lap times. But it's also what Porsche describes as a more relaxed, characteristically convertible style setup. The front end of the new RS is designed to be nearly identical to the front of the GT4 RS, with a slightly shorter carbon fiber reinforced plastic splitter at the front to account for the lack of a wing at the rear. Instead, an enlarged and reshaped ducktail spoiler helps with downforce at the rear. Upgrading to the Visac package leads to even more weight savings. The front hood, door mirror caps, upper and lower side air intakes, and gurney flap on the duckbill are all swapped for carbon fiber replacements. The Visac package also includes a titanium exhaust Porsche says is inspired by the limited edition 935 from 2018. As this is an RS model, Porsche was keenly focused on saving weight. That means fabric door straps instead of interior handles. Furthermore, when the weather gets nice and drivers want to enjoy their Spyder RS correctly, with the top down, they need to manually lower the soft top. Of course, weather non-permitting, that means getting out of the car and scurrying to and fro to get it secured in place again. The whole top weighs just over 40 pounds and shaves 16 pounds compared with the weight of the standard Spyder. Once it begins arriving at dealerships in spring 2024, the new Spyder RS will carry a starting price tag of $162,150. Porsche plans to hold the public premiere for the car at a celebration in June before it makes an appearance at the Goodwood Festival of Speed. That's a roughly $20,000 premium over the starting price of the Cayman GT4 RS equivalent, though Porsche has always been good at getting customers to pay more for less. Someday, when all the new cars waft silently along on electricity, high on the list of internal combustion cars we'll miss is the Porsche 718 Spyder RS. Its 4.0-liter naturally aspirated Boxster six-cylinder keeps revving and revving until the center-mounted tach reads 9,000. It has already produced 493 horsepower by that point, summoned by throttle response virtually unmatched in an era dominated by forced induction. Then there is the sound. Good grief, the sound. Mounting an engine a few inches from your kidneys is one thing, as is the case in every 718. Placing an extra set of air intakes a few inches from your ears is quite another, but that's also the case in the Cayman GT4 RS. The Spyder RS goes even further by removing the glass and metal that separates your ears from those intakes in the GT4 RS. Even with the top on the Spyder RS, there can still be nothing between those intakes and your fragile cochlea. But more on that unique roof later. Many cars sound better on the outside than behind the wheel, thanks to exuberant exhausts and abundant sound deadening. The Spyder RS? It's hard to even hear the dual-note exhaust over the engine. The noise is also why you buy the 718 Spyder RS. If you want to go really fast and take full advantage of the 718's mid-engined layout, the Cayman GT4 RS is the sharper tool. If you want an experience, regardless of where you're going or how fast you're traveling, the Spyder is the choice. Roof on, roof off, roof kind of on and off. There's even a versatility to that experience. The engine making all that fuss is shared with the GT4 RS as well as the 911 GT3 Cup racing car. A screaming, naturally aspirated 4.0-liter flat-six good for 493 GP, 331 pound-feet of torque, and a 0-60 time of 3.2 seconds. While that output is slightly less than the 911 version, it's only because of the difference in exhaust length due to the mid-engine placement. The 7-speed PDK automatic is obligatory, and since you're already asking, no, it's not coming with a manual, said Andreas Preuninger, the director of Porsche's GT model line. Why not? Because there's no manual available that we can mount in the 718 platform that can handle the RPM and the torque of the engine. It's not because we don't want to, it's that there's nothing there. Thankfully, PDK is seemingly powered by some sort of mind-reading device because it so expertly downshifts exactly when and by how many you would that the lovely paddle shifters are basically ornamental. There's more here than just a rock concert worth of noise blasting forth from 6 angry cylinders, though. Compared to the GT4 RS, the Spyder has slightly softer suspension tuning courtesy of lower spring rates and damper rates. Porsche says that's for the more grand touring nature of convertibles. But one would imagine it's also because softer suspension tuning is usually an engineering necessity when lopping off a full roof. Not that anyone would call the Spyder RS ride soft. Even on southern Germany's lovely roads, the odd blemish or manhole cover revealed firm reactions that might get tiresome during a lengthy drive on American pavement. Well, the GT4 and Spyder RS receive a specific suspension system that's adjustable and whose various parts are connected to the body via ball joints. A feature, like much of this car, shared with the new GT3 and Porsche race cars. The standard adaptive suspension has 2 settings, both of which, as described above, are firm. That suspension is lowered a full 1.2 inches compared to the 718 Boxster. And although the front axle lift system is a $3,040 option, the Spyder does benefit from a 2-inch shorter carbon fiber splitter than the GT4 RS, and therefore slightly better clearance. The shorter splitter is to counteract not having the GT4's swan neck wing on the back and balance front-rear downforce. The RS weighs an astonishing 59 pounds less than the regular, already lightweight Spyder that, like the standard GT4, has been discontinued. It also weighs 13 pounds less than the GT4, or 26 if you leave the roof at home. But then, a Boxster is lighter than a Cayman too.